So joining me on the call today, I've got Ben Lay and Craig Edwards. Welcome to the call, guys.
Hey,
Hi, Dave.
good to be here.
So the topic for today is super interesting. It's about systemizing sales success, how to consistently win more clients with a limited budget. So I suppose maybe let's start with this idea of systemizing sales success. And I might start with Ben, because you're on the left-hand side for no particular reason. What's your thought process around the importance of people in business systemizing their sales?
Yeah, it's a really important but overlooked concept. It's funny how just little changes in the sales process can significantly increase conversion rates.
Yeah.
Something as simple as contacting a person within 1 hour versus 24 hours, which is considered to be standard, will significantly increase conversion rates. And I can't give you the solid data on it. There's been a lot of research done on it.
Yeah.
I personally practice it, and my conversion rates are very, very high. So yeah, just little things can make a very, very big difference, but you have to make it a habit and create a consistent experience for your clients.
Yeah, fantastic. Craig, what are your thoughts on this?
Well, Dave, I think the thing that we've certainly noticed, especially in this day and age, is where technology is now our friend, and especially with sales now, it just means we can have far more little minions running around selling our business and selling our brand, as opposed to leaving up to one person who used to just door knock or cold call every single day of the week. Now, with power of automation and other means, we can have happening thousands of times every single day, or every time every week.
Yeah,
and on unlimited budget. So
yeah, and I think, like, you touched on something really important. Technology is crept in. We used to be very manual in our sales process, and it was all about building relationships, and everyone accepted that there was a time delay between meeting someone, building rapport, understanding who they are, buying their product. Technology has accelerated all of that. And I think when we talk about systemizing sales success these days, we're not just talking about scripting, we're talking about the timing. And I think what Ben touched on is super critical here. I don't know about you, but if I jump on a website and I inquire, I anticipate getting an email immediately as soon as I hit the inquire button, something that says, I got your call, right? Or I got your inquiry. And now I even expect more than just received. I expect some level of intelligence there. So things like chat bots, right? People who have buyer motive, I think it's easy to lose interest in something that you clicked on. And I don't know about you, but we've had this on our website. I'm just calling because you clicked on a link and you went to our page, and they go, oh, I click on so many things, right? Yeah. And that was the next morning. So
correct.
So when we talk about consistently winning more clients, and then we talk about with a limited budget, how do people streamline sales success without going and spending grandiose amounts of money on automation? We'll start with you on this, Craig, because I know that this is a bit more your wheelhouse in terms of automation. And I know really Ben's, he's got the skill set of making sure that people are consistent in their sales approach. So let's start with the automation side.
Well, I guess I'll start with a bit of a cost comparison. So if you were to, I guess with any sort of business, the main goal for any business is really to how many customers can they reach? And you can either do that through marketing or through sales. Yep. So with marketing, a lot of business owners think they've got to spend thousands on ads and SEO and Google ads and email campaigns. But with sales automation, we can just focus on the key channels of where our avatar is, whether that's through email or LinkedIn or other social media or outlets or even other channels.
Yep.
That can be one particular focus that can be done very cheaply and not breaking the bank. And the beauty of it is it can work like a tap. You can turn it on and off as you need it, but at least it could be there in the background, just turning away, just doing prospecting or scraping some leads for you whilst you sleep, essentially.
Yeah, yeah. And I also know with CRMs these days, the way that technology has evolved over the years, it's now just a multi-channel integration, which means we can integrate things like chat, SMS, email, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn. Everything can come through one channel, which means that we can talk to people on multiple channels simultaneously, just through a single platform.
Correct.
And I guess that makes the job easier for the salesperson, Ben, especially if the salesperson now knows where someone is in the sales process and exactly what to say. How do you think people should be approaching this sales component of this?
Yeah, qualification is extremely important. There's no point trying to sell ice to Eskimos, contrary to saying. You got to figure out what is it that what are the goals that they're trying to achieve? What are the problems that they're trying to solve? Am I the right person to actually help them with this goal? It sounds so simple, but I think due to a lot of salespeople's and business people's desperation, they want to sell their product to literally anyone and everyone that breathes and has a wallet. And so they're doing these clients a massive disservice by trying to sell to just anyone.
Yeah.
But what they really should be doing is asking these questions. And it's kind of funny that when you ask these qualifying questions, yes, you may filter yourself out and say that there's another solution better for you. But if you are the right solution, the probability that they'll do business with you suddenly skyrockets because the trust level is just there. If they see you're taking them through a proper due diligence system and process, they're going to trust your advice when you say that you are the best solution for them.
Yeah. It's interesting you say that because I think a lot of people are terrified of being either seen as a salesperson or being salesy, right? And I've always found, I think one of my favorite definitions of sales is professionally helping people buy. And to be able to do that, you have to be really good at asking the right questions. And you refer to qualifying. To me, qualifying is literally making sure that what I sell serves your need, right? Because if it doesn't and I find out early, I can gracefully bow out and go and speak to someone who does have a need that I can help. But I think what you talked about before was the shotgun approach, which is just talk to everybody because someone's going to buy. And the more people you talk to, the more you can sell. In a world of noise, and that's what we've moved into, I guess, with marketing, is that there's so many marketing messages hitting us every single day. It's not just about who yells the loudest, it's about who I connect with. And I think when we talk about automation, because I know, Craig, AI is creeping into the CRM world, and AI is, it's not a secret sauce and it's not a replacement for humans. It just fast tracks our ability to intelligently communicate. But in the end, and I think this is where Ben kicks in, is people buy from people. And so I just want to be talking to people who have the need that I solve the problem for, because then the sale is easy. But getting to that point requires a fair amount of cycles if you're doing it manually. And I think with AI and CRM, we can really sort of reduce the amount of hours required in that pre-sale space.
100%. Like, especially coming back to, you just touched on it before about technology and obviously the integration of AI. But again, going back to the old way where qualifying a lead is paramount. We'll do this with or without technology, but with technology, we can cut down so many hours of all that time ringing, trying to, where you're at, are you ready to buy, all that sort of stuff with the prospect. The AI bot and technology and automation can filter a lot of that out automatically for then the salesperson just to focus on what we call high QLs, which is high quality leads.
And really that makes more sense because I think attention is the most valuable commodity on the planet. And people's attention is being dragged from pillar to post. And I also believe people are getting to a point where they're becoming immune to a lot of the marketing noise. They're saying, give me something meaningful to engage with. So either I don't mind talking to a bot as long as the bot gives me the answers that I want. Right? But if I have a question the bot can't answer, I need a human real quick. And so when we talk about systemizing sales success, I feel like the tools that are available now are unprecedented. They're not complicated. AI is not going to take over the planet, I don't believe. I think AI is just going to augment and accelerate someone who knows what they're doing. Right? So getting this systemization idea in place is actually going to reduce the cost of sales, not increase 100%. The cost of sales. So look, I think it's an important topic, like really understanding that sales is a process, right? It's not just a skill set, right? In the old days, it used to be you had to be really good at sales and follow up, and you had to be good at presenting. You had to so many skills. The truth of the matter is the automation takes a lot of those operational skills out and focuses the salesperson on one thing: connection, right? Building trust, building rapport, and making sure people feel comfortable that they're dealing with another human. If we were going to summarize today's conversation, because it is super interesting, and I know we've got an event coming up where we're going to break this down into its components, What would you say are the 2 or 3 critical elements that people should be looking at when it comes to systemizing sales? Ben, let's start with you.
Yeah, sure. Firstly is to have one. and because that's, let's face it, a lot of people don't have the process to begin with. Even having a bad system is better than no system at all. And then once you have that in place, then you can look at finding refinements, and you can look to professionals like Craig and myself for advice on what the process should look like. So having that overall client journey is the starting point. Then you need to figure out at each of these steps, what are the kinds of questions I'll be asking, what are the points about my product that I'm going to show them, and what is my call to action. So there's a lot of thought and strategy that needs to go into that, but just as a starting point, have something, give it some thought.
Yeah, fantastic. And for you, Craig, how would you sort of suggest, what are your key pointers for people who are thinking about systemizing sales?
Well, one of the things we talk to our clients with is customer first. You have to really make sure that they're servicing a need or a want, and first and foremost, the automation or technology or whatever is happening in the background can serve that if that's what's required for the customer. But ultimately, with technology and AI and a few other techniques, is that it's there to make things a lot faster, a lot quicker. People are essentially time poor. People do potentially, if they're in market for looking for a key service or product, they sort of want it now. So coming back to Ben's comment about getting on the phone within the hour gets a far better conversion rate. Having the tools or technology that can automate that much more faster is obviously going to increase your conversion rate even more so.
Yeah. And the funny thing is, people expect 24 hours self-service. They'd be looking at your website at 3 a.m. in the morning, and they hit submit, and they go, "Oh, I didn't get an email. Something's broken." And then if you ring the next day, they go, "Hang on a second, you took a whole 12 hours to get back to me." And people go, "What do you think I'm going to answer your call at 3 a.m.? No, your bot should do that. I just need to know that my communication got through, and then I'm talking to the right company and the right person. And all of that can be automated. But if you don't have, and going back to Ben's point, if you don't have a workflow for your sales process, I mean, internally, we call this the growth engine, because I think every business needs to have a system or a workflow for getting people in and a workflow for getting the product out. And as a business owner, I think you architect this first, and then you decide, is it human interaction? Is it computer interaction? And what do my client, I was going to say, what do they expect at that step? And look, when we come up to this workshop that we're coming up to, we're going to break this down into its individual components, because I feel there's too much money being left on the table, where people say, yeah, I'm too busy to systemize my sales. And you say, well, the reason you're too busy is because you didn't systemize your sales. So you've got this chicken and egg scenario. So I think when we get into the nitty gritty and people see actually what this can do to transform their sales process, and it's not even going to cost them the money. It's literally just investing the time in systemizing what you're currently doing and then optimizing it. So I'm super excited about this upcoming event. I know both of you are going to do a great job of deep diving into, number one, the sales process from Ben, but number two, the automation side from Craig. And for me, it's just making sure that this actually works out to be a financially viable proposition. So how do we bring the cost of acquisition down? How do we improve conversion rates without having to work silly hours? So super excited about this event coming up. I appreciate your time today, guys, just to give us a bit of a sneak peek as to what we're going to be talking about. And I'm looking forward to getting this event off the ground. So thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, David.